Craigslist is a website where you can find almost anything: a new apartment, some garden equipment, a ride from LA to New York. But throughout the years, an unlucky few have found themselves unexpectedly purchasing danger, robberies, assault, sudden violent death. Here are some of the stories that might make you think twice about meeting someone from Craigslist. Michael John Anderson. The first man dubbed Craigslist killer in media reports couldn't figure out how to talk to women. According to his attorneys, before his 2007 murder, Michael John Anderson was just a dumb kid, a socially stunted 19-year-old who had never so much as held a girl's hand before he made Craigslist his medium for approach. There, on the online marketplace, Anderson posted numerous classified advertisements. Eventually, he found 24-year-old Catherine Olson, who was looking for a babysitting gig. Anderson had placed an ad claiming to be a woman named Amy, looking for someone to care for her 5-year-old. Shortly after Olson showed up at Anderson's Savage, Minnesota home on October 25, 2007, Anderson shot her in the back with a .357 Magnum Blackhawk revolver. He stuffed her into the trunk of her car, where she bled to death. On March 31, 2009, Anderson was convicted of first-degree premeditated murder, among other charges, and sentenced to life imprisonment without the chance for parole. He currently resides at the Minnesota Correctional Facility in Oak Park Heights. Richard Beasley. The gig looked like a dream come true for a certain kind of drifter. We need someone to watch our farm down in southern Ohio. Live for free in a double-wide trailer, nothing in the way of duties except to take in the peacefulness of the countryside, and make sure no one steals any farm equipment or perpetrates any mischief. Pay was $300 per week. But behind the offer lay a murderous plot. Beasley, 53 years old, was seeking victims. Already on the run from the law for operating a brothel out of a halfway house, Beasley turned to hunting male victims on Craigslist, first to secure fake identity papers, then later to secure income while on the lam. Because the gig involved a live-in work situation, victims were instructed to bring cash and possessions with them. Over 4 months in 2011, this Craigslist killer shot and killed 3 middle-aged men, David Pauly, Ralph Geiger and Timothy Kern, with the help of Brogan Rafferty, a 16-year-old accomplice from a broken home whom Beasley had befriended at church. He had a jolly laugh, a beard, a belly, and even carried candy in his pocket, Rafferty told The Atlantic. There was a period when I was younger that I was convinced he was Santa Claus. The killing spree came to an end when a fourth victim, Scott Davis, escaped the attempted murder with a flesh wound and reported the assailants to the police. Beasley was convicted of aggravated murder, attempted murder and numerous other charges, on March 13, 2013, for which he was sentenced to death. He is currently imprisoned at the Chillicothe Correctional Institution in Ohio. Rafferty was given life imprisonment without the possibility of parole on similar charges. Philip Markoff. Unlike Anderson and Beasley, things were going reasonably well for Philip Markoff when he turned to a life of violent crime. Only 23 years old, Markoff was already a medical student at Boston University. And he was engaged to Megan McAllister, 25 years old. They were only months away from being married. But Markoff had a double life. He was responding to sex worker classifieds on Craigslist and traveling to upscale hotels in the Boston area, where he held the women at gunpoint, tying them up and robbing them. Ultimately, over the course of a few weeks in April 2009, this Craigslist killer robbed 3 women in similar fashion, shooting and killing his second victim, 26-year-old Julissa Brisman, at the Boston Marriott Copley Place. Police quickly honed in on Markoff as a suspect. They were able to link emails to his apartment. One of the surviving victims identified him as the perpetrator by a photograph, and Brisman's blood was on his shoes at the time of his arrest. McAllister broke off their engagement shortly after Markoff's arrest. But the case never made it to trial. On what would have been his 1-year wedding anniversary, on August 15, 2010, Markoff killed himself in his holding cell with a makeshift scalpel, scrawling his former fiancée's name on the wall in blood as his final act. Karina Roberts. An Oregon woman obsessed with having a baby, befriended a 21-year-old Heather Snively with something sinister up her sleeve. Snively met Roberts on the online classifieds network Craigslist when she was looking for baby clothes and other items. Roberts agreed to give Snively some baby clothes. Roberts brought Snively to the Beaverton area home where she lived with her boyfriend and her 2 children. She killed Snively in the bathroom, covered her in carpet, and hid the body in a crawl space beneath the house. She called her boyfriend, Yin Shubin, sounding pained and telling him she needed help delivering her baby. Roberts, 29, was charged with 4 counts of aggravated murder, 1 count of murder, and 2 counts of first-degree robbery. She pleaded guilty to 1 count of aggravated murder and agreed to life in prison without the chance of parole. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.